Cody, and we're going to get into Cody here. Cody, I loved his post interview. I loved everything, and then he just let the mofo word release at the end, and it blew it for me. And when I see Cody, I'm actually going to mention to Cody, you have so much going for you. I'm going to tell you guys, I would teach everybody about the curse factor. You don't use it unless you really, really mean it and it's at the right time. And if you can handle it, don't even curse when you're there. There's plenty of ways to get your point across. It doesn't have to be with F-bombs. Let's keep it classy. Love you, Cody. I'm so proud of you. Absolutely, absolutely love your performance. And we're friends. But, that's how I feel about cursing. And you know that, DJ.
No, and I'm with you. I come from an FM radio background where when I hear curse words, especially what I deem to be unnecessary curse words, I cringe because you're basically taking gold and throwing it out the window. With that said, I think you and I are in the minority now, Buff. I think that in our modern day, people gravitate towards those type of responses because they view those interviews and responses and quips at times to being quote unquote real. And I understand that's how people. You and I, when we don't have a live mic in our faces, we let things be a little more real per se, but there's something to be said about tact and being professional. And I'm with you. I don't think it ruined it for me per se, but I think Cody has a little bit more grooming and growing to do as a guy on the mic.
Yeah, it's not that it ruined it. It tainted it for me, and I'm not taking anything away from Cody. It was so beautiful what he did with that young man in the octagon, and just to give his belt, which when you think about the monetary aspect of it, in a one way, that's great. But when you think about the whole mental beauty of what he did for that young man suffering and battling leukemia, it's just I can't go into words because I'll probably start crying like I did, at the end of the Christmas show. So that's fine. But see, again, every time I see that, and I'm not going to belabor this, I think about so much, TJ. I think about the role model. I think about the Pepsis and the Cokes watching. I think about the Apple that's watching, Apple company. I think about spokesperson deals and residual deals to make residual income for the fame and the fortune that a man like Cody has brilliantly ahead of him. And when you use the curse word, you're cutting out that guy that wants you to work for him, that person that wants you to work. I'm telling you. And the reason that people are coming in tune with it, like you said, that's not everybody. That's the demographic that is in tune with that. And that is a large portion of the demographic of fan base that the sport of mixed martial arts and the UFC has, along with the other expansive base. And what we're talking about the 18 to 34 demographic.
The most important demographic when it comes to marketing.
Exactly, and they set the pace for the future demographic. So I'm sorry, you won't hear the curses coming out of me, and when you hear them coming out of me, you're going to believe it. And if you're on the end of those curses coming out of me, you're going to believe it. So it's just that's the way I think you should curse. So I'll leave it at that. But let's get back to Cody. Okay, brilliant performance. Now, we talked about last year, Fighter of the Year. We're going to wait till after these fights happened. Is the Fighter of the Year Cody Garbrandt, or is he the Breakthrough Fighter of the Year?
I think he has a case to be both. I still think Conor McGregor is probably Fighter of the Year because of those intangibles that we had mentioned, the paydays, the gates, the 2 titles now. Granted, he won last year, but now, a multi-divisional champion. I hate it, you hate it, but this Floyd Mayweather talk that's still putting the UFC in that mainstream spotlight.
Right.
Conor McGregor still takes it for me, but Cody Garbrandt, man, he might be runner-up over Michael Bisping, which I feel bad saying that because Bisping had such a Cinderella storybook career in year here. But, Cody Garbrandt, one of the best stories of 2016 easily.
Absolutely. And, Cody's got the it factor. I just can't say enough about Cody Garbrandt. I see an amazingly bright future ahead of him. The look with the tattoos up to the neck, a.k.a. Conor McGregor, all that type of stuff, which appeals to the demographics, in large, as we were just discussing, and outside. He's got a huge marketing factor for himself. He's got this going forward. The UFC is very lucky with a lot of the talent they have right now.
Going forward on pay-per-view buys, whoever he fights next, whether it's Cruz or whether it's, someone like TJ Dillashaw, I hope that the pay-per-view dollars are there because the fight is going to deliver. There's going to be some bad blood with Cruz and Garbrandt because now Garbrandt, he didn't have a lot of ammo in the smack talking game. Now he's got a lot because he clowned. He really cruised on Cruz. He dominated the Dominator. He can use those, and if he fights T.J. Dillashaw, obviously there's bad blood with both of those guys coming out of Sacramento. So I hope that Cody Garbrandt isn't defending his title on Fox or anything like that. I hope the UFC believes that he can command a pay-per-view dollar.
What about a rematch?
I don't know what is the right answer. I wouldn't be opposed to an immediate rematch for Dominic Cruz. Usually, I'm not opposed to rematches, especially when a champion has had a long, lasting reign, which for me, Dominic has had, despite not being the champion for a good chunk of that because he was on the shelf. But, I mean, Dominic Cruz, for a long time, has been the best bantamweight in the world, going back to, 2010. But he got dominated. And normally I would say no, but Dominic Cruz is the best 135-pounder we have ever seen, so I'm not mad at it by any means. But I also wouldn't be upset if Dom wants some time to regroup and come up with a better strategy and game plan. And we saw Dillashaw get in there with Garbrandt. I think both of those fights are money.
Well, considering the way T.J. Dillashaw fought that night on Saturday night, he was a perfection fire. It was awesome. And John Lineker is no easy slouch by any standards whatsoever. I love introducing T.J. Dillashaw, by the way. It's almost another Dan Hardy.
He looks like he's introducing you.
It cracks me up. It's awesome. He's got so much energy coming into that octagon. It's amazing. I'm happy to help feed that fire.
Does he have something personalized for himself in the gym? Does he have a personal recording? Because I think if he's ever feeling a little bit blue, a little bit under the weather, maybe not wanting to get in that training day or second training session, as I'm sure he's probably training every day, but the harder the training session, maybe he needs to listen to that intro because clearly it motivates him.
I think I'm going to probably do something. That gives me an idea. I'll do this for any of the warriors in the octagons. I love doing the introductions. As a matter of fact, Cody contacted me. I did one for him to help motivate him during his training up for this fight.
Nice.
So I did that for Cody, and I'll be happy to do it for any of them. I'll probably send TJ something and surprise him. Yeah. I'm going to actually probably do that after the show now that you put that thought in my head. Sticking with MMA and where we're going with this, Luke Rockhold, as we know, has been dating Demi Lovato, at the shows together. Yeah. Demi Lovato putting out little videos of her, hitting pads and, whatever, talking about fighting like every other actress and actor out there. But it's over. It's over, TJ. Demi and Luke Rockhold have split up. The world is now holding their heads low. I'm a
weirdo. Like, great. You have a girlfriend and a boyfriend. I don't understand why anyone cares. I'm not going to date Demi Lovato. So if I meet Luke Rockhold and he's like, this is my girlfriend, Demi Lovato, I'd be like, oh, you sing, right? Not even to be like sarcastic. Like, I don't know about pop music. So
that's okay. But I'm doing a little, it's time TMZ type storytelling here. Here's the thing, though. Demi obviously is really into fighting. Now I'm going to ask you, do you know of a fighter named Guilherme Bamba Vasconcelos?